Welcome back everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the process. Now I'm sure you've seen tons of videos on productivity, self-discipline, patience, so on and so forth. All of these, there's literally millions of videos on all these topics and more. But in my opinion, the process supersedes everything. And the reason being is because you could have all the self-discipline in the world. You can have the most incredible productivity stack. You could be patient, you can be resilient, but all of these things are part of the process. And if you don't respect the process, if you don't partake in the process, and if you don't trust the process, then all these other things are pointless. Now, the road to happiness, the road to success, the road to mastery, whatever road that you're on, it is just that, a road. And every road demands that you travel it step by step. The problem in this day and age now is that so many people are focused on the prize and not the process. And what happens is people start skipping steps. They start taking the shortcut to get to the prize. And like I said, in this day and age, it's so easy to see everybody else's prize on Instagram, on YouTube, on social media. Everybody is showing their highlight reel of them with the prize, with the reward, with the destination. And hardly anybody is showing the process. And the people who are showing the process will all tell you the same thing, that it's not a pretty process and that it takes time. And these are the things that young entrepreneurs and young athletes and the people that are up and coming don't want to hear. They just want to get to the destination and not care about the journey. They're focused so much on the prize and not the process, but what they don't realize is the process is the prize. Because when you start skipping steps, you miss out on all the wisdom, all the skills, all the experiences, all the networking, and all the tools that you acquire along the way. And that's why you come across so many people that are so good at what they do, and you're quick to say, you make it look so easy. The reason they make it look so easy is because they've put their 10,000 hours in and they've worked at what you see for so many years. And I'll say it again, when you skip steps, you deny yourself and you rob yourself of so much that is needed for you to be where you want to get to. Because if you just appear at the destination without the tools required, you're going to fail. One of the best examples of the process is using video games. I want you to think about one of your favorite video games, whatever it may have been, Super Mario, Donkey Kong, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now I want you to envision that the first level is the final boss. And you beat that final boss and the game is over. It's not very fun now, is it? Because the process of getting to the final boss is what made your favorite game enjoyable. But just take a step back. Imagine you played the final boss as the first level. It's going to be insanely difficult because you don't have the right skills, you haven't acquired enough experience, you haven't got the right weapons or gear, whatever game it is, like you don't have what it takes to finish and beat that final boss. It's that simple. And let's use one of those big RPG games as an example. You start off with nothing. You literally start off with no weapons, no gear, and your map is literally massive, and all that's revealed is where you are right now. And the more you wander and the more you explore, more is going to be revealed on your mini-map. And life is the exact same way. If you stay in the same block radius of where you live, that is all you're going to know. You need to get out there. You need to meet new people. You need to network with new people. You need to put yourself in different scenarios and places to gain more knowledge and experience and perspective of what it takes to take the next step forward in your life. Now keep in mind that the choices you make at the start of the game dictate how you play the game and how you get to that final boss. The choices you make determine the opportunities that come in that game. If you go this way, will you unlock a certain dungeon that will give you a certain weapon that will make a certain level easier? Think about that for a second. You see, once you understand the game and once you understand that life is somewhat like a video game, you can begin completing the tasks necessary to grow as a person. We're so quick to build up our characters online, but we can do the same thing with our own lives. And once you understand that, you can form your own storyline. You can gain more experience for yourself, and you can acquire the skill set needed, like weapons and gear, like in the video game, for you to get to where you want to get to next. And that is the process. But if you stay in that same small area on your mini-map, you will stay ignorant and you will stay stagnant. And with that attitude, you will want to skip steps. And staying on topic of the process, when you skip steps, you will continue to rob and deny yourself of the skill set needed. And when you do that, you're going to wake up one day and wonder why you haven't got to where you want to get to. The path you take in the video game influences how you play the game. And the path you take right now influences the process that you're in life. Like I mentioned, everybody's so focused on the prize. What is the prize? The prize is some form of excellence. To be good at something, to be a certain way, to have money, or to be, physically fit, or to have a family, whatever it may be. The actions and the time and the effort that you put in has put you in a place of excellence, right? But excellence comes from the word excel. To excel at something, to excel, to be good, to be the best. But to excel in any given niche or manner, or online or offline, wherever it is, to excel at anything, you have to put in the time. The process is time. And I'll say it one more time. The process is just time. This is where you are. This is where you want to be. This is the process. It's just time and effort and patience. Time is effort and patience. All right? The process is made up of time. Therefore, the process requires patience and effort, because through patience and effort, you acquire the skills and you don't rob yourself, and you get to where you need to get to. And when you put in the time, which is patience and effort, you realize that those are the prizes. You're gaining those every single time you compound interest on the effort that you put in. Now let's break down what effort is. This is something I wrote years ago. Effort is being resilient regardless of the outcome. I'll say that again. Effort is being resilient regardless of the outcome. So what that means is whether you fail, whether you fall down, you're showing up every day. You see all these gurus and mentors and athletes and influencers always talk about showing up, and how showing up is majority of the battle. That's exactly what it is. Effort. Showing up regardless of whether you win or fail or lose. You show up, you show up, you show up, you show up, you keep showing up. But you have to be resilient. All right, because if you're not, then you don't want to show up. Again, bringing it back to the process. You keep showing up. You keep showing up. You gain the wisdom. You gain the skills. Referring back to the video game, you're acquiring all those skills on your skill tree. Think about your character again. You have your character. You have all this skill tree. I'm resilient. I'm patient. I'm persistent. That's one skill tree. And now you're gaining, acquiring knowledge. What about your soft skills? Leadership, teamwork. All of this stuff, that's your skill tree. Now you have your hard skills where you're learning, taking different courses, signing up for different mentors, so on and so forth, reading different books, learning different things each and every day, failing, trial, error, trying different things, failing again, falling down, standing up. That's still, every time you fail and every time you stand up, you're building resilience in yourself. You're making yourself, when that big failure comes in the future, you can be like, nope, I've been here before. You stand right back up. Whereas most people would crumble and they'd give up. They could have all the self-discipline in the world. They could have all the best productivity stack in the world. But the moment the process breaks them down, they don't want to show up anymore. Now let's talk about patience. I'm going to be specific and talk about aggressive patience or active patience. Let's just say you paint a room. You're not going to stand there and watch the paint dry. Active patience is going and doing something else while that paint still dries. Put your washing on. You don't stand there and watch the washing being done, right? You need to be aggressive. You need to go do something else. I'm going to read something else that I wrote years ago. Patience is about focusing on the step in front of you. It's about putting one foot in front of the other and remaining loyal to the journey. I'm going to say that one more time. Patience is about focusing on one step in front of you. It's about putting one foot in front of the other and remaining loyal to the journey. To sum that up, it's similar to what I said at the start of the video. The road to anywhere you want to go to is a process, and it requires you traveling that road step by step. Remaining loyal to the journey is about having faith that it doesn't matter how I get there, and it doesn't matter what I encounter along the way, I will get there no matter what. Going back to the video game analogy, it doesn't matter what demons and monsters I have to fight. I'm going to finish this game. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to get to level 100 or whatever it is. I'm going to get that special weapon. I'm going to fight through whatever dungeons I need to get to where I need to get. I'm going to, we travel all, I've done it. I'm guilty of this. I've traveled and I've spent hours on certain video games, going through the maps, going through the dungeons to get a certain item that will make things easier for me in the future. So why don't we do that in our real lives? Why don't we acquire the skills and the knowledge? Why don't we equip ourselves with the right type of gear for our mind so that when we do face that final boss, or when we do face the trials and errors and the obstacles and hardships and walls in our own lives, we can tackle them so much more easier, right? We do that in video games. Why aren't we doing that in real life? Kids are so quick to buy certain guns for Call of Duty, pay good hard money that their parents have earned, but not do the same thing for, oh, I don't want to pay for that book. I don't want to pay for that tutor, right? The logic isn't there. But once you understand that life is just like a video game, you can navigate this real game a lot more better. But it's all about understanding that it is a game and it's a process. Where you want to get to, that mastery, that happiness, that success, whatever it may be. Let's just be hypothetical and say you want to attain a certain physique, but you don't want to put the hours and hours and hours of hard work in the gym, and you don't want to meal prep, and you just take steroids and you cheat. You now don't know how to program workouts. You now don't know what exercises work for you. You don't know anything about the process of recovery or nutrition because you cheated to get there. And the same applies for life. The same applies for when you want to be a successful person. You need to acquire certain things, and that is why you're not where you need to be, is because you're so focused on cheating the process. And the reason why people think like this is because they're not patient. And when you're not patient, you're not loyal to the journey. When you are loyal to the journey, when you're loyal to your own journey, when you're loyal to the patience needed for your journey, it doesn't matter what comes your way, and it doesn't matter how slow it goes, you're gonna stay the course. And you're gonna keep showing up every day with that resilient effort. So we can sit here and talk about discipline. We can sit here and talk about productivity. We can sit here and talk about the habits that you have and waking up early and doing all this stuff that these people tell you to do. But none of it means anything if you don't respect the process. Because you could be disciplined for 1 week and 2 weeks. You can be disciplined for 2 years. But what if your goals require you to be disciplined for 10? All right, and you give up after 2 years. You weren't patient and you didn't respect the process. So if you want to get to where you want to go to and you're struggling, I need you to remember that this whole thing is a game, and you need to work on your skill tree. You need to be patient. You need to trust the process, and you need to respect the process, because the process is the prize. And I'll end this video the way I started it. The road to greatness, the road to happiness, the road to success, the road to peace is just that. It's a road, and it requires you traveling it step by step.